What if I told you that being neurotypical is a total myth and none of us are actually fitting a neurotypical brain? I'm Jennifer Evans. I'm a licensed mental health counselor and success coach, helping anxious overachievers learn how to be able to navigate social and emotional challenges and build their social emotional intelligence. And I want to talk about this myth of neurotypical. We often hear this neurodivergent, neurotypical, and it's really causing a lot of comfort and labels, if you will. It gives people an opportunity to not only identify with a group and feel like they are connected and that they belong, going back to our universal constructs that seem to come up over and over again as to why we act the way we do. But there's also this, when you get back into that Cartman drama triangle, there's also this lenience on this is my identity and I have to stay within the identity and the parameters of the identity. And the thing is that neurotypical really doesn't exist anymore. You can probably be born neurotypical. I'd question it, but I would on a limb. But honestly, as a traumatologist, I find that we are our experiences. And because of the collective intelligence, what we know is that whether it is individual trauma or experiences or stress, or collectively we have had shared experiences and stress, it comes up into the brain, that amygdala, and we start to get into bad brain, this reactionary tendency to be able to survive. So we're putting stuff in really quick, we're putting it through the lens of where we've been in a stressful situation similarly in the past, and we are just cranking on reactions trying to get out of it. And as a sense of perceived control, in the wake of a sense of perceived control is chaos. So as we think that we're doing better and we are cranking it out and getting so much done, what we're actually doing is causing more stress, more chaos, and more need to have a perceived sense of control. You see that feedback loop? Everything's a triangle, everything's a feedback loop. And so, because of these feedback loops for survival, this need for a sense of control that we all have, it's another basic universal construct. A basic need we have is a sense of agency. We are doomed to be in these reactionary states. And as we get into these reactionary states, as you know with my negative dynamic, these emotional reactions causes cognitive distortions, pulls up our attachment, our negative attachment, or our insecure, avoidant, or disorganized attachment. That reinforces the negative narrative. I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me, but I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, and I don't think anybody I deserve to be here. We really lose value when stress comes in our lives. It's a natural phenomenon that the brain does. That pulls up the amygdala, which starts to scan, and we start seeing that we are putting a filter, building a perspective of how we are viewing the world, trying to react as quickly as possible because the brain is now in survivor mode. It is life or death. There are no in-betweens, and it doesn't know good stress or bad stress. It knows I need to survive. We start invoicing or interacting with other people based on this filter that is on. It causes perceived expectations of what others should and could do. If you ever have said, I can't believe so-and-so did that. They should have been able to do this. They know better. I know that they could have done this. You are in bad brain. You're in the negative dynamic. If you've ever said, man, I should have done better. I knew that I could have done that. Why didn't I say this? I had the best comeback. That girl was so mean to me. I had the best comeback. I should have said this. You're in bad brain, negative dynamic. And it causes us to either shut down and repress all of our emotions and we kind of stonewall people, or we just overly react and we get tearful and we kind of have these temper tantrums and we regress in our emotional expression, or we get very angry and we start fighting. And that causes more emotional reactions, as we have seen. And so the reason all of this happens is because the brain is wired in this way. And whether it's a childhood experience, an adult experience, it's going to change how we interact. We're building new neural pathways for quick reaction, for stress response. And the point is, and how my coaching helps, is as a licensed mental health counselor, as somebody who has an extensive background in neuroscience, I have built a framework to help people rebuild that neuroplasticity of the brain. I rebuild and rewire the brain so that we stay on an action-oriented space. But at any time, these county highways and these dirt roads of response will come up. And what we're trying to do is rebuild action-oriented space. And what we find is as we're in this sense of perceived control, as we're trying to find agency, as we find that our stress is so overwhelming, those 3 P's to prevent performance. Say that 3 times. 3 P's to prevent performance. That perfectionism, the procrastination, and the performance trauma, the overachievement, all come to play because they all have a perceived sense of control and agency. So as life feels like it's just happening at you, your anxiety says, no, I have an internal locus of control. If I put in effort, good things happen. So I want to put in as much effort as I can so I can see as much good happen. And all of these things that are unexplainable. But what it does is it creates more trauma adaptations. As we keep putting in effort, we are building a room in that amygdala of performance trauma. We are. And so every time something happens, we go into that room. We go into fight or flight or freeze. We get into that space. And so as we are realizing this, as we are finding ourselves more and more reactionary, then what we want to do is be able to find ways to ground and calm. And how we ground and calm is we take deep breaths. We do 4-7-8 breathing. We do box breathing. We do 5-4-3-2-1. All of these things I have on my blog. So go to the, I think it's called the Power of 15 blog. I'll put the link in my video description to be able to learn how to ground and find your present. And as you ground and find your present, start asking those Socratic questions. Start challenging the negative thoughts that are coming up that are making you want to be reactionary. And find agency on what you can do right now. Keep going back to what your actual agency is, not what your perceived agency is. Because perception is what got you into all of this. And that is why there is no neurotypicals, because the brain is made for survival. And as soon as any stress comes on, and stress is all around us, we are in a reactionary state. We are in a reactionary state. And there's no getting out of that. So next time you try to find your label, try to think of, I'm having thoughts of, I'm having thoughts that. And what that's going to do is it's an acceptance commitment therapy approach to be able to pull the thoughts away from you. Stop owning those thoughts as if they are yours, as if they're your value. And put them in front of you. Place them in a bubble. Place them on a cloud. Place them wherever you would like. But what I guarantee you is probably going to happen is there are certain thoughts that you get to that feel like they're stuck in the mud and you can't get them out. And those clouds feel like fog all around you. That's your negative narrative, and that's your trauma, and that's how I help people find happier, healthier, more productive, and purpose-driven lives, is we let those clouds float away and we release the fog. We pull up the muck and we put it in and allow the balloons to fly away. So if you're looking for change, if you're looking for more joy and purpose-driven life, please reach out. Go get that 15-minute wellness insight. Talk to me for 15 minutes and we will create a plan that will help you live a happier and healthier life. I specifically focus on social emotional intelligence for anxious high achievers, but I help everybody and anybody who's looking for more purpose and drive in their life through a neuroscience-based framework. So if you like this, thumbs up, share it with others who may also feel as if they're stuck in these labels of neurodivergent and neurotypical. Follow me, find more great videos that will help you find awareness so we can build acceptance and find action. I'm Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions. Thank you so much.